Okay, so we're going to take a look at 4 more posts in the Mabinogi Korean forums. So this one is on Loot server, because Korea still has different servers, about News Guild. So this is a new user who started playing Mabinogi 2 months ago, and they wanted to join a guild. So they made a request to join the guild, but that guild reported them for using profanity. And they're basically saying that they didn't, and they're a little disappointed that they were reported for something like that. So yeah, I think that's kind of unfortunate that that's happening. I don't know, like, how different the Korean community is, but most players in the NA wouldn't, like, do that to, like, a new player. So that's kind of disappointing to see. And here's the next one. So it seems like Puppetry structure needs improvement. So summoning, linking, casting, and activating. Now it seems that this server lag is also vulnerable to structural improvements. There are no comments on this one. But yeah, overall I think it would be kind of cool if we could get some updates to Puppetry to make it, like, better, because it is, like, a really unique talent, and you don't really see, like, a lot of other talents or classes in other games that are like the Puppetry talent. And next we have this thread, so why games are becoming more and more boring. So the purpose of running the game is to maximize income, that's true. Since games are ultimately a business, they have no choice but to be systems created with the goal of profit. Looking at the current situation, Mabinogi is a game maintained by veterans. That's true both for the Korean version and the NA version, I guess. That is why developers operate the system based on the standards of veterans who make money. Yeah, it does seem like most updates do center more around the mid-game players and the veteran players, more than, like, new players. And then here's the second part of it. So it is a shame because it is so dense. For the reasons above, the higher the level, the higher the barrier to entry. Because the barrier to entry is high, new and returning newbies find it difficult to play the game and are reluctant to play. In most cases, the first step is to derail. If this continues, the number of users will eventually decrease. As the number of users decreases, the remaining veterans will also become bored with the game and end up derailed. In the end, that's how the game becomes a stalemate. And they're comparing it to, like, another game over here. So this point I both agree and disagree with. I think that we could use some updates to beginner content that's early in the game to make it more friendly to new players. But at the same time, I do not think there is a extremely high barrier to entry in the game. Like, at least not the NA version. I think that anyone that's, like, new or returning to Mabinogi might feel a little overwhelmed with how much we have in the game, because there is a lot to do, and it can take a long time to actually get caught up. But overall, I think that the game is still fairly friendly to new players. Like, the game is completely free to play, and you can enjoy just about 90% of the in-game content completely free. It's just a game where things take time. Like, this isn't one of those MMOs where you play it for 2 or 3 months and then you're suddenly at max level with everyone else at the end game. Like, this is a game where you build up your character slowly and you take it day by day. I think the best way to, like, avoid burnout from, like, a game like this is just to take your time with it and play it the way you want to play it. Like, it's fine if you want to, like, get advice from other players that have been around for a long time, but overall, play the game the way you want to. And then last here, then what should we do? So slowly increase content and focus on supporting newbies. Before Unreal, we need to create an operation where operators can develop in an equal manner. If you are truly serious about Mabinogi and want to keep it alive, there is no other answer than this. So yeah, I do think they could like add some content to help new players out. Like, it would be better if we had like some more stuff for new players to help them settle into the game easier. But overall, like, I don't really think that there's a massive barrier to entry for like playing the game. Like, we have the blinded tutorial system and that helps out a lot. And it's not that bad. Let's see if there are any comments on this one. And the guy that made this thread, it looks like he's even replying to just about, yeah, all 3 people that are commenting here, so that's good. In other games, there are limits, that's why they make things stronger with crafting and such. But this game is free from such restrictions because of the reincarnation, so rebirth. That's why it's even worse in terms of operations. The team leader adds things as he pleases and leaves without looking into it, so there's no way the system can be stably established. And then the guy that made the thread comment saying, at least the current director and leader seem to be normal, even though there were mistakes. Compared to the mess of the old management style, the current one seems to be the best. And I actually do agree with this. I think the current director of the Korean version of Mabinogi is great. He seems to be open to listening to player feedback and knows like what the players want for Mabinogi. So yeah, I think the current Korean director of Mabinogi is doing a great job. And last, let's look at this one. So I'm pretty sure this is a translation error here. I can't get a cat for a day. How many people play games every day? Are you really going to have an event that takes 20 days? And then there's some comments down here. If you come late, there's no way. There's nothing we can do about it. We can only wait for the next event. You look like you have a lot of money. Why don't you just buy one at the auction house? This one's saying, like, why don't you just buy something, why don't you just buy, like, an event item you missed from the auction house then? You can do it for 20 out of 28 days, but if you can't do it, then there's nothing you can do. The event is also held to secure users, and it only takes 5 to 10 minutes a day to complete the quest. So if you can't do it, then you just can't receive it. And this is the guy that like started the thread, so they're saying 20 out of 28 days is wrong. Do you think everyone has a desktop and can log in every day? 20 out of 60 days is ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know, like, I think if you have like about 28 days for an event, and you have to put in like 20 days of work for it, I think that's reasonable. I'm not sure how it is over in Korea, like maybe people can't log in every day there, depending on their living situation, I'm really not sure. I don't know if like some players go to like internet cafes over there or something like that to play Mabinogi or something like that. But like over in the NA version of the game, like, this really isn't a problem for most people. Like, anyone can do an event like this. But there have been a few like really close events in the NA where it's like, if you even miss one day, then it like messes you up for like the whole event and things like that. So it would be nice if they didn't make the time crunch for some events so tight, because it does feel like that is a problem for like 1 or 2 events that we get a year. But other than that, like, they usually give you a pretty reasonable amount of time to do everything.